All right, so which one do you prefer, a one-story or a two-story? Let's talk about the pros and cons. Hey guys, I'm Luis Cuevas with Remax Cross Country and MakeNorthTexasHome.com, and I wanted to talk about a one-story versus a two-story, kind of a pros and cons type conversation. From my perspective as a real estate agent, I just kind of wanted to give you some insights on what I see. I know everyone's situation is a little bit different, but first and foremost, I wanted to kind of cover both. Now, one story and two stories, believe it or not, come in at different prices. One has more demand, one has a little bit less demand. Well, let's talk about the pros of the one story. Remember, a one story, you're going to have, a bigger footprint on the lot. So that's going to take up some of the lot space, which usually means a little bit smaller backyard, front yard, etc. Whereas a two-story will go up. They usually have a little bit more of a big backyard. The other thing to take into consideration is the layout. The square footage in a one-story home is a little bit more usable. And what I mean by that is once you start going into a two-story, you have to make room for additional hallways. You have to make room for the stairs. You have to work around that. Sometimes you have to add an additional half bath just to have downstairs for the guests. So those are the sort of things that you want to take into consideration. Now, would you wonder which one is in more demand? Well, it'd be the one story, and I see that as a real estate agent, and I'll tell you why. Now, it doesn't apply everywhere, but most of the time I see that one story is more in demand, and as a result, remember, that creates a higher price point for those one stories. So remember, when I say a one story is more expensive, I don't necessarily mean that by the end price. So for example, if two houses, one's a one story, the other's a two, and they're both 200,000, it could be that the one story may be a smaller square footage, which makes it a little bit more expensive per the square foot. The reason for that is, again, there's more of a demand. More people can get into a one story as opposed to a two. You have to think, the older we get, the less we want to go up and down stairs. So you have to look at, who it's for. Now, I don't say that two stories are only for families, but that's generally what I see. Whereas a one story, you may have, a single person, a couple without kids, even a family. Obviously, you can have a one story. Elderly, retired, they may not be as mobile, so that's a little bit more for them. Whereas a two-story, an elderly person or someone who is getting up there in age doesn't want to be going up and down the stairs. The other thing is, I know when I was a little kid, I thought, okay, when I grow up, I want to have this big house. I want it to be two stories and really big. Well, then I kind of grew up and started paying utility bills. And when you come to look at utility bills in a two-story, remember, some of those require two ACs. As opposed to a one story. Not to say that a one story can't have two ACs, but just keep that in mind. So all these things to think about: more space to furnish, more space to heat and cool, more lights, etc. So those are some of the pros and cons. Again, I do see that a one story is in much more demand than a two story, and the price reflects it. But you can look at it the other way around. If you want more bang for your buck and a bigger backyard, then a two story might be for you. It just depends on your situation. But again, hopefully you enjoyed this. You picked up a thing or two, maybe something you hadn't thought about. If I can do anything for you, don't hesitate to give me a call. Again, thank you so much for watching this video. Now, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Make North Texas Home, or you can check out more videos on my website, which is MakeNorthTexasHome.com. Thank you so much.